Welcome back to the deep dive. You've brought us a really fascinating source today.
Yeah, it's a reflection by Pastor Jeong called Surrender as Spiritual Strength.
And the interesting part, the hook, is that he draws insights from table tennis.
Exactly. Sounds a bit unusual, but it works.
So our mission here is to kind of unpack this core idea he presents, this paradox of control.
Right. The whole notion that sometimes letting go actually gives you more control, or maybe something better than control.
Okay, so where does he start? With the table tennis, I assume.
He does. Right away, he talks about this experience playing table tennis.
Yeah.
And it's something, a lot of athletes or even musicians might recognize.
Which is?
Well, that when you try too hard, when you really try to force a shot, put all your muscle into it,
Yeah.
you actually lose precision. Your accuracy kind of tanks.
Oh, I totally get that feeling of tensing up.
Right. You feel like you're exerting strength, but the control just evaporates.
It's like you're fighting yourself almost. I felt that in lots of things, not just sports, when you grip something too tightly.
Exactly the point Pastor Jeong makes. He contrasts that forcing it with relaxing into the stroke, letting your body flow, letting the game kind of happen naturally.
And that leads to better results.
Often, yes. More success, more freedom, more fluidity. And in a strange sense, a different kind of control comes from that looseness.
So it's an illustration. Strength isn't just about force.
Precisely. He uses it to suggest strength can come from being fluid, from releasing that tight, anxious grip we often have. It's a physical starting point for this paradox. Gaining something not by overpowering, but maybe by yielding a bit.
Okay, so that's the physical analogy. How does he bridge that to the spiritual side? Because the title is Spiritual Strength.
He makes a direct leap. He brings in scripture, specifically Luke 9:24,
Okay.
which reads, "For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will save it."
Wow. Okay, that's a heavy verse. Lose your life to save it.
It is. And he presents it as a deep spiritual truth that mirrors what he saw in the table tennis game, that same kind of paradox.
It sounds almost scary, though, doesn't it? Like the
Yeah.
idea that trying less helps you win. How does Pastor Jeong explain losing your life in this context? It's not literal, obviously.
No, not literal destruction. His reflection interprets it as surrender, but not in the sense of defeat. It's framed as the actual path to renewal.
Renewal. How so?
The idea is when you stop trying so hard to save your version of your life, the one you're trying to control and micromanage.
Right, clinging to your plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you release that tight grip, you create space. You open yourself up to, he talks about grace, guidance, things you couldn't receive when you were so focused on your own effort.
Okay. So relaxing the muscles in the serve lets the ball go where you want,
Mm-hmm.
and relaxing the grip on your life's narrative allows something else, maybe something greater, to flow in.
That's the core of it. And he emphasizes it's a full giving over, not just tinkering around the edges. But crucially, it's not presented as loss. It's about making space for something greater.
What does he call that? Something greater.
He describes it as new life, a life anchored not in our frantic efforts to control, but in trust, in love. He sets it against what he calls the self that clings to control.
And we all know that self, right? That desire for things to go according to plan, to be predictable.
We do, but life isn't like that, is it? As the reflection points out, life is full of curveballs, things that challenge our sense of being in charge.
Definitely.
And Pastor Jeong suggests it's often in those moments when our control feels weakest that the real opportunity lies. Not to double down on effort, but maybe to choose surrender.
So for you listening, maybe the question is, how often are you trying to muscle through? Tightening that grip when maybe a gentler approach, a kind of surrender could open a door.
It makes you think about where grace finds an opening. Is it through our striving or through our releasing?
So wrapping this up, the key takeaway from this deep dive, from Pastor Jeong's reflection connecting table tennis and scripture, it seems the invitation isn't just try harder.
No, perhaps it's more like trust deeper.
Yeah, not grip tighter, but release with intention.
Allowing faith or trust or whatever you call it to flow more naturally, like that athlete letting their movement just happen.
It leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? What if this gentle surrender he talks about isn't about giving up on yourself at all?
Right. What if it's about giving yourself over? Handing yourself over to something greater, letting that trust itself become the strength, that fluid guiding force, makes you reconsider what strength really means.